This is Little Bandology, episode 1. It is September.
8.
What?
8?
8?
No,
I
9.
think, no, it's the 9th.
9th.
It's the 9th, September 9th. We had our first little, cold front.
Yeah.
Yeah, in East Texas.
It was chilly this morning.
It was. So, as part of this first episode, we wanted to introduce ourselves and talk a little bit about who we are and what we do and all that kind of stuff. My name is Josh King.
My name is Michelle King.
And we're married. And we work
Woo.
together. And we're still married. It's magical.
I wouldn't call it
Okay,
magical,
maybe not
all,
magical
the time.
all the time, but I think it's magical most of the time. We tolerate each other really, really well. We teach in a little town called Beckville in East Texas. It's about an hour from Shreveport.
It's in Panola County. It's pretty close to Shreveport. It's almost Louisiana, honestly.
Yeah, we're in the same county where the Bernie movie was shot.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, yeah.
Jack Black.
Yeah, and yeah, that's exciting. But the main thing is we teach band in Beckville. We're a 2A school. Our high school doesn't have a ton of kids in it. It's about a
65. Sorry, the high school.
that was
total,
the high school, not just
the high school in total
not the
probably
size of the band.
has
What,
maybe 200
200-ish? I think a little
I
bit
don't
less
even
than
think it's
200.
that many.
So that qualifies us to be a 2A in the state of Texas, which is a relatively small school, and in that small school we have a band size of
65.
65, and that's our high school band.
I know that number.
Yeah, our high school band is 8 through 12. Our students. We start in 6th grade, and then we have a little 7th grade band. Michelle is in charge of our 7th grade band, and then they get into high school, and this is actually the largest band we've had since I've been there.
Right. So in the past, this is your seventh year.
This is my 7th year at Beckville.
6 years, this is the largest it's been.
Yeah. It's sustained quite well around mid 50s for the last 4 or 5 years, and then this year we saw a big upshoot in it. In Beckville, how we do things may be a little bit different than other small schools out there, but it may be a lot the same. I don't know. There's not a lot of resources to find out those things.
We've found something that works well for us, and we've been quite successful there. So just thought we'd talk about what we do for
maybe
anybody
share
out there who needs a little help
or some encouragement. You can't be. You got to be pretty tough to teach in small school, especially for a long time. I am a product of small school. I grew up in a one red light town, and it wasn't a red light until somebody died in a car crash, and they changed the blinking yellow to a red light. It was a big deal. We have one gas station and a post office. That's where I grew up. But Michelle did not.
I grew up in Houston.
Yeah, she grew up.
I graduated with like 700 and something people. I actually graduated with Slim Thug. If you are familiar with that rapper, I went to school with him. This was actually, honestly, I started band in we were all in the same class. I didn't have homogenous classes in 6th grade.
Really?
Oh no!
How did I not know that?
I don't know how you didn't know that. I have this one very vivid memory. I don't remember much of 6th grade band. Honestly, that was
with
a
that
really
many kids, I would
long
have blocked
time
it
ago.
out.
But I have this one vivid memory of my band director going down the row, and we were trying to play the B over the break on the clarinet, and I was so lost. I had no idea what was going on, and so she got to me, and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and she was like, oh well, and she just moved back on. It's amazing that I am a band director now
and not in therapy.
Right. Well,
my gosh. So and then my beginning band experience, everybody had to be in band. You didn't get the option. And that's how we do it in Beckville. Every student takes band, and we supply everything.
Even reads every single thing.
Everything.
Binders,
the
pencils,
binders.
pencil bags.
Putting together binders has become quite the arduous task. But luckily now we have high school students that help us with that, and our own personal children that help us with that.
Yes.
So we have 3 children. We have twin 15-year-old boys. They're sophomores in our band. Their names are Aiden and Noah. And our 10-year-old, who is Sutton, who is our little assistant band director. If you go to YouTube and pull up the Beckville Band State Marching Contest, Sutton is our little, some people think she's a little person, but she's not. She's only 8 or 9. She dresses professionally and is with us down on the field. And that's part of
Josh's bag.
She carries my bag. Occasionally she'll hold my hand, which is kind of cool. For me, I don't know what is. I think it's more to calm me down because I get pretty high strung. But anyway, But all our students, we've gone down a rabbit hole. All our students in Beckville take sixth grade band. We provide everything. Up until just a couple of years ago, all of our students were in the same pew. My
Yes.
first year at Beckville, I taught everybody, and I I became very religious because that's a very arduous task. Having all of them together, it can be done. We did come up with some ways to approach it to where we were successful, and just making sure sounds were nice. But that's a whole different episode, I think.
Yeah.
But up till let's see,
Last year was our first year.
last year was our first year with everybody in band, and we were able to split the classes into 3 periods. And so Michelle teaches all the woodwinds
Yep.
in 3 class periods, and I teach all the brass and percussion. And I think it works. I think it works pretty well.
We're definitely seeing the positive of having that situation in our 7th grade band this year. They're much
definitely.
better at the beginning of the year than we've ever had.
Yes, they make absolutely wonderful sounds. I was shocked when we started back up the first day they played Concert F. I thought, wow, man.
Well, and
What have
reading
I been
too
doing?
is so much farther
Yes.
ahead than it normally is because when you're teaching everybody together, it's really hard to get that literacy going.
Oh yeah,
And so we're not having to work on literacy at the beginning of the year.
Mhm.
They're reading music.
it's actually been kind of fun. At
Yeah.
the beginning of the year. So this, and of course this episode, our first episode, this is September, beginning of September. So we have not been in school a very long time. We are
Less
not
than
to.
a month. Well, I guess Thursday will be a month.
Yeah, will be a month. Yes, we just had our 3-week reports. And I had to put in grades, and I got in trouble because I didn't have them in. But I'm pretty sure most band directors can identify with that. Between that and me not doing roll, that's what Michelle takes our roll for us here in
Yes,
Beckville.
if I'm not at school,
And if
roll
she's not
doesn't
at
get
school,
done.
I get an email. Hey, you forgot to take roll. But as far as letting you know a little bit more about Beckville, the town itself is really small. We have a dollar store. And we have a couple of gas stations. We have a donut. We have a really good donut shop.
It's okay.
I like it.
I mean, for a small town.
I mean, for a small town.
There's a taco shop that's apparently really
There-
good. We've
there
never
is a
eaten there.
taco shop. There's a couple of small businesses in town. Our downtown is like 4 buildings, and 2 of them are vacant. Like it's
Right. Only 2 of them are actually occupied.
occupied by.
And only one of them is actually like a store that's open.
Yes. The other one is it's an educational center of some sort. I don't know. The people that own it are so nice. They're so
Yeah,
sweet.
But it's
I
not like
just-
ever open for
it's
anything.
yeah. You can
so-
reserve it, and they do like Lego parties and stuff, which is kind of cool.
We do have a
um,
daycare.
We
in
do. We have
town.
an amazing daycare in Beckville. We have a railroad track.
The most annoying train on
oh,
earth.
I hate this railroad track with a fiery passion of 1,000 suns. So, our railroad track runs right behind our stadium, and it always comes through in the middle of high school band. Our high school band is like 4th period of the day, so it's like 11 o'clock, and it never fails. It blows. It comes through, and it hits the horn right when I'm about to
I
talk.
think it's purposeful at this point.
I think it is. I
They're
think the guys
watching
like
you.
got binoculars coming around the corner. Oh, King's out there. Let's give it to him. So much so that we actually have something we created for the stands. I arranged the train horn, our specific Beckville train horn, and we play it occasionally. We don't do it as much as we used to,
Not as
mostly
much.
because the referees get really mad. And,
Right. Well,
and then,
that was like the only thing we've ever played that has gotten the referees to tell us to stop playing.
yes, this is true. Our
It's a
little
train
band of
horn.
55 kids playing a train horn in the refs. We were at a playoff game, and the athletic director came over and was like, "Hey, they want you to stop." And I was like, "What do you want?" He was like, "I don't care. We don't play it as much." But yeah, the railroad cuts through the town. But the town is basically the school.
That's
I mean,
it.
there are so many kids that walk to school. Like more
right.
than
But a lot of our kids don't actually live in Beckville.
no, we have a lot of kids that are transfer students live in surrounding Carthage, Tatum, Henderson,
Marshall.
Marshall. Yeah, we've got some from Marshall, and that's a pretty good trek. We do accept a lot of transfer students. We do also turn away a lot of transfer students.
Yeah, superintendent likes to keep it at a 2A. He's not going to allow so many kids to come in that we're going to jump to 3A.
Yeah, which is great in a lot of aspects.
But he also doesn't want us to drop to 1A either.
No.
So
And
I think that he tries to balance that.
Yeah, this year we got a bunch of new transfers in our junior high.
Yeah.
I think like we got a couple of new band members, so that was pretty exciting for kids to come in and look, new blood. This is
I mean,
wonderful.
technically our kids are transfers.
Yes, all 3 of we actually live down the road in a little town called Henderson, which is not really that little, but
It's like at least twice the size.
at least twice the size. It's
Really
big.
bigger than that.
We have a Chick-fil-A, so
We do, and a
that's-
Starbucks.
and a Starbucks. So I mean, we're in a Walmart. I mean, that's like the bougie redneck trifecta right there. Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, Walmart.
Just need a Target.
Oh no, that's too much for Henderson. I don't think we can handle that. But it's about 25 minutes away from Beckville, so we drive in every day. It's a nice commute. It's not bad at all. It's pretty easy.
It's
The
easy
sun's
drive.
in your face both ways. But
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the thing. Hey, to give you a little bit of history on Beckville, this year will be hopefully we got our 6th consecutive UIL Sweepstakes award. Last year, yeah, which was a big deal. If those of you that if you're not from Texas and don't know anything about UIL, it's basically a festival, adjudicated festival. There's one for in order to get a sweepstakes, you have to make straight one, or you have to make a first division, the highest rating in marching, and you have to make the highest rating in concert evaluation and sight reading evaluation. We do a
We've
sight
moved
reading
from
evaluation.
calling it a contest to an evaluation, so it kind of like
Yes.
aligns more with what STAR does.
Yes, and
And
STAR is
so-
our evil standardized test. for
Right.
elitists.
But
We
it's
do not
it's
like
just
it,
to try to give the band contest a little more legitimacy as far as so like we don't have to worry about grades anymore for the concert and sight reading
No,
portions.
no, that's
anymore,
by
because
district.
Now
it's by
it's
district.
now it's an evaluation. Like it's basically like the kids take the STAR test each year to evaluate how they're doing. Well, we go to this evaluation to measure how our band is doing.
Yeah, and so we do that, which is I mean, it doesn't make it any less stressful.
Oh, I think it's more stressful.
Yeah, because we're being evaluated, but the kids, I think it's just about the same. I think that we stress out more than they do.
Yeah, they're probably not even familiar with the verbiage change.
No,
Honestly.
they're just I'm going to play this music and we're going to do a good job and enjoy ourselves and hopefully come home with a trophy. As far as on the marching side, because we are in marching season, in the throes of marching season, Beckville is a military band. And if you're going, well, what is that? A military band. We play military marches and march in straight lines.
Lots
And
of King, Carl King.
yeah, except
no
this year
relation to us.
no. Believe me, I wish I was related to Carl King. I'd be enjoying those royalties. But we march a lot of straight lines, a lot of military marches. Oddly enough, we're not marching any King this year in our show. But we do. And matter of fact, we're members of the National Association of Military Marching Bands. That's a thing, National Association of Military
National,
Marching
but
Bands.
mostly just Texas.
Mostly it's East Texas. We're the
There's-
last hub, I guess you could say.
There's really not a lot left in the United States.
In the United States.
I mean, like, there's not really many of us in Texas, but there's definitely not a
No.
lot in the United States.
Yeah, and it's a very proud style of marching. We could do a whole episode just on military marching.
Yeah.
But we go to state marching contests usually, and that's always a lot of fun. We get to march at Baylor. The kids have a good time. And then concert and sight reading. We've had some success over that with first divisions and high marks. So we've competed at the state level in the Outstanding Performance Series. The Association of Texas Small School Bands has a contest called the Outstanding Performance Series, and you send in recordings, and we've had some at the top over the last
Had one
several
come in
years.
second this past
We
summer.
did. We came in second with our concert tune, Butterfly's Ball, and we came in second with our march. No, our third.
No,
we came in third with
our
our march. But that's still pretty good. at
Yeah,
state
the whole
level.
state. Yeah.
And let me tell you, Texas has some amazing small school
For
bands.
real.
Like the competition is real. There's nobody slouching around 2A, 3A bands in the state of Texas. It's quite impressive. And then we compete in the Texas Music Educators Association honor band contest. That's even crazier. And we've been in the top 3 the last 2 times.
Yeah.
Which has been we came in second this past time. We came in third. So that's pretty exciting for us, and just a little bit of sort of where our program is now. Where our program was when we first got started, it wasn't. I'm not gonna say it was in a bad place, but it was in a strange place.
Yeah. It's a weird director change
it-
that
yeah.
happened, and so there's a lot of the kids were just kind of not sure what was happening with the band.
Yeah, and I remember coming in, and they got on board pretty quick though. Like it just, I think they were
Josh
just
is
excited
a
to
kid
have band.
magnet, y'all. So
Well, whatever. It's the bald
honestly,
head.
it,
That's
it
what
wasn't.
It is.
It wasn't a surprise to me that the kids got on board with him pretty quickly. It's never the kids that you have a problem with.
This is true. Although, I mean, I had pretty supportive administration. I had some pretty. I mean, the parents were kind of like feeling me out. I mean,
Mhm.
now we have it's basically an army of parents.
Yeah.
At the ready to do whatever we need, and
But I mean, it did take some time to build.
it
you know?
did.
I mean,
It did.
didn't
Our
just
booster
walk in
club,
and
I
turn
would
it on
put up
immediately.
against any school's booster club. 100%. They're
work
so
hard.
much fun, and they work hard, and they care about the kids, and
Mhm.
and they give us really good social media attention too.
Yeah.
They love to brag on our kids and how awesome they are and how wonderful they are, and all the things they do. Sometimes they post videos and we're like, "Oh, what'd you do that?" But everybody seems
Can
to
you
love
please
it.
check with us
Yes,
before
before
you post
posting
the
any
Friday night
performances. Yes, please, thank you. But we've got a wonderful parent support system in Beckville, and that didn't all just come out of nowhere. I mean, we had hiccups and
we've
we've
had to
had
build.
big hiccups
Yeah,
along the way.
we've
and
had to
things
build
like
that.
So basically, what we're hoping that we can do with this pod, I mean, we gave you a lot of information in a very short amount of time about nothing. But our goal in this is to try to create some content that may help you in your situation, knowing that we have not always been in the best situations teaching wise. Like we could do just a podcast over the crap Michelle has had to deal with in her time teaching. But
It's been a lot.
It's been a long. I mean, we've been teaching. Well, I'm 11 years from retirement.
And I'm 10 years.
10 years, and ladies and gentlemen, we are on a countdown. It's happening, and so we've been through the trenches like a lot of people, and so new teachers, that where you've been, we've been there. Teachers
I
who have
think
been
it's
doing
also important to point. This is the longest either of us have been at a single school.
this is true.
Yeah. So this is his 7th year at
It
Beckville,
is.
and
It's
it's
my
my
7th year.
5th year at Beckville. So I mean, no, wait, sixth year at Beckville.
Yeah.
And so like before that, 5 years was my longest. I don't know about.
Yeah, 5 years was my longest.
Yeah,
and my
so-
most successful.
We've adapted.
Yes,
We've
that's
had
the
to
word I was
we've had to
thinking of.
change a lot of things from the way it was when we got there, and I think that we've really paid attention to what the kids need
Yes.
in order to make them successful. And so it's a lot of trial and error
Oh,
on new
yes.
things.
So
and,
much trial.
Just trying to figure out the things that we can do for the kids so that they can be the most successful that they can be.
Yes. And we've confided in master teachers and have asked thoughts and feedback and
Stolen a lot of
we've
ideas.
stolen a lot of great ideas. We've lovingly borrowed a lot of
sorry.
great ideas.
Lovingly borrowed.
And we've given our ideas away. We've presented it at several conferences. We've presented at the Texas Music Educators Association convention twice. Once with
Louisiana Music Educators Association.
the Louisiana Music Educators Association,
And-
the Texas Bandmasters Association. I've done that one too.
I've never done that one.
Well, we'll just put it on the bucket list. And then this year, exciting, we will be we are going to Midwest and presenting at Midwest a clinic over small school bands. So if you heard about our podcast at Midwest and you're tuning in for our very first episode, like going back and tuning in, thanks for coming, and we hope you liked it. And if you didn't, just don't tell anybody. Okay, it was fine. We had fun, but we're looking forward to that trip to Chicago. It won't be our first trip to Chicago, but
our first trip to Midwest.
our first trip to Midwest. So we're excited and anxious and nervous and all those things. Getting ready for that as well. So I think we can. I mean, we've given you a little bit of information about our school and ourselves. So hopefully this will continue and we can help you out with some things or maybe answer some questions.
Yeah, we'd love for you guys to ask questions that we can talk about.
Yes,
or,
definitely.
We've experienced a lot, so
We have
some sort
good
of
and bad,
some sort of experience that could help you.
maybe perhaps,
in
and if
some way.
not, we know lots of people.
Oh, yeah.
So we're hoping to do some interviews. With that, we're going to wrap up our first episode. We hope you enjoyed it and maybe got a couple laughs.
Thanks for listening.
And we really appreciate it. And tune in soon for episode 2. Hey, this is Josh. Thank you for listening to our very first episode. If you have suggestions about things we could talk about, be sure to check us out on Facebook at Little Bandology, or you can shoot us an email at littlebandology@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing you and look out for our next episode.